Taki. Oh yeah, welcome, welcome. Very stoked to pick your brain today.
Yes, sir.
And yeah, I see already there's quite a setup behind you.
This was all acquired this year, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie.
Overgassed.
Overgassed a little bit, gasolined. No, I'm kidding. Um, so this mixer back here,
hmm hmm
uh, it was donated to the Willis Fund by Mons Rock, a Flipper B Club.
Oh, all right.
So, yeah, I got that from Mons. I had this Arturia. Shout out to Maddie J for putting me on to the Micro Freak. Shout out to DiBiase for putting me on to the MC 101 and the damn near all of the samplers. I was gonna
Okay,
say
so
and the PO and the Lo-Fi 12. Nah, but actually, I think I was talking to Matty J, and he was talking to me about the Lo-Fi 12 and a lot of the Sonicware stuff. And Matty J, he's behind OBS. He's a magnificent musician. If y'all get a chance, or if you get a chance, follow Matty J. I'm not sure if you are. Okay, yeah, he's
hmm
dude. Dude has a lot of information, man, and he's willing to share and vibe out. But yeah, and then I got a 202, then I got the S1, the P6, and the MK. No, yeah, the MK2 404. There is some stuff that's missing. Oh, this man, I'm not gonna lie. This thing right here is probably one of the best things I've touched ever.
let's talk about this because I saw this on one of the recent IG videos that you started fucking with that.
Mhm.
And for me, it was a huge sleeper. I passed on this for years. And then one day I was like, let me pick it up. Let's see. I've never been disappointed by their gear. And then the moment I got it, I was like, oh shit. Oh, this is what you do. It was like such a it's a breeze of a workflow and it's like super immediate. What
Yeah.
how did you get on that? Was it DB again?
Uh,
Or
yeah. Yeah, so he had when he had got it, he was telling me all the different things that it could do. And I was telling him, I was like, bro, all right, I'm not gonna get the OPC, dude. Like I already have the PO. I'm just I'm just gonna thug it out with that. So um he kept cooking up on it, and like during the calls and stuff, he would tell me, bro, this could do this and this could, and I'm looking, I'm like, all right, man, hold on. Like I it sounds really, really good, and I want it now. But I don't need it. I don't need it. It's okay. And then so one day after work, like I'm a scoundrel on OfferUp and Marketplace and Craigslist and stuff. So I had looked on what was it? OfferUp, and a guy was selling it for $200. And I was like,
hey.
I need it. I need it. So I drove an hour to go get it. And like it felt weird. It felt weird because I have history of getting like pocket operators for like 20-30 bucks because people, they have a headache with it, or like it's hard to learn it and stuff. And like before I'll like buy it, I'll ask them like, what don't you like about the the pocket operator, and I'll try to teach them. I'll try to help them like in the offer up thing. I'm like, oh yeah, if you do this and if you do this, it was like, you know what, I'm still gonna sell it. And then I bargain down a little, and I'll get it for like 30, 40. So I have like four pocket operators, and I was like in a mode where I was just collecting pocket operators. I'm not gonna lie, because it was just so cool to like, oh yeah, like yeah, let me teach you this, and or hitting people up from different message accounts and different stuff. Like, oh no, I'll take this for 70. No, I'll take this for 30. No, I'll take this for 40, and then I'll get it for 40. You know, it was I don't know, man. It might be looked down upon, but it was pretty fun, you know. And they're selling it and they're letting it go themselves, so they know what they have or they know what they don't want. Um,
Hmm. What was
yeah,
the guy saying? Like, what didn't you like about? Why was he selling the Z?
well, the workflow is a real big turnoff that I found out for a lot of people, and a lot of people, um, I think they're under the impression that like it could it could swing automatically or like it could get raw or dirty automatically, and it can. But if you really want to put your thumbprint on it, you would have to like do a little pre-work, like, you know. And like, I don't mind pre-workout. I'm like a, you know, I'm a jittery guy already. So pre-workout is my thing, you know. So if you prepare, um like going into the pocket operator, you could get some real unique rhythms and real unique drum patterns. Not only that, like there's certain there's like things, and I'm pretty sure it's like modern or like not modern, but like common within the pocket operator community, where if you sample a drum loop or a loop into the melodic or no into the drums, you could get like all the different chops and stuff like that. So
Hmm.
yeah, it's certain things that turns certain music makers off about the pocket operator, and I understand, but that's kind of where like I go to, you know, like I want the difficult workflows. I want, you know, like all of the things that challenge you to make the music that you want to make or speak the way you want to speak, for lack of better, like, you know, analogies or terms. Yeah, but DB, he hooked me up with the information on the OPZ, and like it when I got it, I was like, oh, this is because I had DB telling me all of that information and stuff. I knew what to look for in the manual and stuff, and like I really appreciate that, man. That dude is he's a huge help, not only for me but for the community, you know. Like
Yeah, shout
it's
out to DB.
it's really dope to see him doing what he's doing with the Discord, and then to see what Loki's doing with his YouTube and stuff. Like, it's amazing, and I'm just hella glad and hella appreciative to be around, you know, these cats. It's real dope.
And what's your favorite part about the OPZ? What do you fuck with the most?
Oh, my favorite part is the step components. I'm not gonna lie.
I knew it.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I love the step components and a sequencer too. The sequencer because of the step components, I think that like it separates itself from like a lot of the other like samplers and groove boxes or groove TV remotes. Like
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's it.
it's so small, bro. When I got it, I was just like, what? How, how am I? Oh, okay. So I wonder if I have my yeah, my contraption. So this is my contraption
Mhm.
to stay recording like with two hands. So I can play with two hands. So I'll
Nice.
just put this on the record button and then just go crazy with my MIDI or go crazy with the little tiny buttons and stuff. I really want that. Why though? Like I've been having dreams about it.
Yeah, that was the hidden for me. It wasn't that obvious. I was like, it's just one bar, but knowing that you can stretch out that bar to basically eight, and with the step components, you can make it an endless sequence, which is just like never repeats,
Yep.
as
Yep.
is
Yep. Yeah, it's
monstrous.
I still have yet to make like a full like I haven't used the bars. I've only been making beats in one bar. Like
Which is
I
totally fine.
it's cool. It works. I have yet to make a full, and I like what you said about like how you can stretch out one sound or one instrument so it could play four
Hmm.
bars. Like it's almost
Hmm.
like doing 4 bars, but it's not. It's just changing the steps. Is it? Would it be the steps? Because it's like going at like 1/16 or 1/30 speed.
Slower.
Yeah, and it's reading it slower,
Changes
but
the.
somehow it records like I don't know in between the steps, like also too. So it's like,
Hmm.
okay, this is interesting. I don't know any machine that speaks like that, man. Like it trips me out. It trips me out. I love it though. I love it. I love
Yeah,
the sound on it too. Isn't it a what is it, a 16-bit machine? I don't know. Yeah, I
I
tried
would
not.
guess. Yeah, I think so because it's a mono, first of all, which is important to the sound quality, I feel like. Uh, it gets so punchy. It's such an angry machine in my the basses on the bass synths are just like
Not only that, the filters
hmm
are crazy on there, man. Like you
right.
can get real like sharp and like you could tune and tweak. You could make a whole nother drum in there. Like um that's where I sort of like I I'm gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna lie. I haven't used the OPZ like to its full capacity yet. I don't think. Because there's certain like the video and like I haven't dived into that yet. There's other things like isn't there like a synth editor? Like you can edit like synths if you turn it on a certain mode.
Well, the two params there, it's limited in terms of editing. I'm not sure there is an additional mode, or at least I've
I,
never found
yeah,
that secret
yeah.
mode.
I gotta look it up because I think somewhere I was reading like because at work I'll listen to videos and different things and I think it was a video I had seen where you can go in and tweak um the sense, but maybe I'm lying. Maybe I'm
You can tweak like the amount of tweakery is limited.
okay.
That's like this is the limitation of the box. They don't give you
Okay.
too much control over them. But given there are two effect slots, you can get crazy with sound design because like sending it through the bit crushers, the saturators, the delays and reverbs. The reverb is very solid in that box. It's much better than the LP1's reverbs. It's like it can get huge.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
then again, with the step components, it's all programmable. So you can kind of create variation and create the movement, the texture effect easily. It's so quick, right? It's just a
Oh
boop,
man, you
boop, boop,
just
boop,
gave me
boop,
a
done.
ideas. You just gave me a grip of ideas, like actually, like because I forget that it does parameter locking.
Yes.
Like it works really well, and like I don't know, I sometimes I'll just get too involved in one idea, and like I'll forget all the other ideas and things that I wanted to try. It sucks sometimes, but and it's music. Music is life.
Right. And that's actually one of the key features that I like about the Micro Freak is apart from it being an incredible synthesizer, it's so versatile.
Right,
It's
right.
such a slept device. Its arpeggiator is amazing.
Yeah, no, no, no. It's powerful, dude. Like,
Hmm.
um, I usually don't like arpeggiation. I'll just do it, play it out myself because
Hmm.
it's certain cadences that you'll get in between the bars that'll fit
Hmm.
a lot better, like an arpeggiation. But messing around with the micro freak, like it's it's gotten me crazy with the arpeggiation. Not only that, Koala is kind of crazy with like arpeggiation and stuff too, but the OPZ, it's powerful with the arpeggiation, dude.
Hmm. Yeah, that's something that I was wishing for now with this XY, with the new machine. They they enabled arpeggiation as an additional parameter because previous like on the OPZ there is just one track that is dedicated to arpeggiator, right? And then you don't have the LFO, which is at least to me like this is a huge way to change up the sound and make it deeper. And now
Yeah,
they changed that, and that was like yes, one of the reasons why I was like I need that machine,
yeah,
even
man.
though they put a stupendous price on
Yeah,
it
dude.
just
I
they
was I was thinking about that. I might have to enter in like a beat battle or something and try to win it for a prize or something. Cause I like it. I don't know, man. Like messing with the OBZ opened my eyes to like sound design in a different way. Cause it, like you said, it's a limited like editing. Like you can't really edit certain things on there. But there's there's certain pockets that you can find that you like the step components. Like you can tweak the sound enough that like it's something completely different, you know? And what I like about it too is the I forgot what button that is. Let me find out. It's when you could switch out the sounds. Like say for instance you got
oh
like
right
what
when it
uh
the random or the
yeah, like
ladders they jump to other uh
yeah, change the
pads keys.
tonality.
hmm
Yeah, it's it's a superpower and it's OP. No
Yeah,
pun
yeah.
intended.
It's super fun. It's a super fun workflow because it like it gets you going very
Hmm.
quickly, in my opinion, and then you are in a very create like the you enter a creative state quickly because it's not the decision making is really short. You just okay, I'll record that. Let's play around with this. There is no like a slowdown, a friction, and I need to switch. I need to go here now. No, let's
Yeah,
find some sounds.
yeah.
Just
What
boop go.
are there other machines for you that like you've um you've had that same feeling with the OPZ? Are there any machine that you've had that same feeling?
The whole OP range is to me personally is that's why I have like three of them because this they nailed down the this specific type of workflow where you just create and whenever it's good enough you just okay let's record that and
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
the magic of it is this quick jump from working out the sounds or the patterns and then just recording it done boom your loop is there let's go let's
yeah, yeah.
next idea.
I think that like I think what you just said is really really underrated too because when you're looking at a lot of these machines or dolls or anything that makes music, there is a lot of like extra stuff that like you could really get distracted by. And with the OPZ and all of the like OP1 or the even the pocket operators, they get to the point, you know, and like you like if you like you said, whenever you're ready, you could just hit record. That's what I like about the MK2 too. Well, two also. um because it has that skip back function.
hmm
And like if you're just jamming out and doing something, it's like, oh, I remember that. Let me just keep going for the rest of the bars and then let me just, you know, capture that. And then that's my yarn. But like I don't know, like the OPs, I haven't had that feeling with any other machine besides the OPZ. And I think that's why I'm like gravitating towards it a lot more. Because it just works. And it
hmm
works well.
hmm and it's powerful like it's so deep it's such a tiny device but it's actually really deep you can do a lot of damage with like MIDI controlling other stuff um yeah automating everything doing the tape it has like this little tape looper so you can
Yeah.
play out have like one bar but that one bar with all the other stuff is a full track. You just perform it. You need to record it on the other end, but you can play it out and do like dropouts of tracks. Change the what I like the OPZ introduced is this change of not the keys, but like it modulates
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
transposes the sound,
There you go.
the
Yeah.
master
Yeah.
track.
Yeah.
That is to me a very powerful thing because I personally am not that musically
Inclined.
educated enough. So
Uh-huh.
I just have like one chord. I would record one chord on a bar and then use the master track to switch it to
You
other
know what?
stuff. It was like, yep,
Like
that works.
I'm the same way. So like when I found out that that can do that, I was just sitting there just changing the chords, just like a major third change, like just changing the chord, and I'm like, hmm, this is this is AI. Like I was confused. I was like, what? Wait, hold on. And I was sitting there just like for a good 10, 15 minutes just trying to understand. I'm like, wait, how like how do they like how do they know that that's what that is? Because I was playing some weird chords. Like I don't know about names of chords and different stuff. A flat minor seven over G7. I I don't know. That's all like a different code. Like I hear those chords in a different shape or in a different color or something. So like when when I'm playing it, it's like it's almost like telling me like, yeah, you're going up to here, and you are so you're learning too.
Mhm.
So it's almost like a friend. It's like, oh, okay. So like 3 hours will pass and you don't even know. Like,
Yeah,
no,
that's
it's
super dope.
cool. It's cool, man. OPZ is my friend.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah,
Really
yeah, man.
excited. Um, Another thing you mentioned that kind of influenced your workflow, that's a bit back though, like some time ago, the Synthplant.
Me and Synthplant have had some nights. Um, I I don't have much tracks with it on. I'll just tweak shit and like try to understand what's going on. Like a lot of times, like that's what I'm doing mainly. Like just
Hmm.
like trying to understand what what these machines or softwares or samplers are like doing and understanding their language so I can speak my language through them. You know, um, it it's it's just unfair though because you got things like Koala, which is like that's like a bilingual. It's a what is that? Like a polyglot of like
Hmm.
different languages. It accepts different workflows. You know what I'm saying? And it encourages you to like find new ones. But with other machines, like I find that like you have to learn it. Like if you don't learn it, you're gonna do yourself a disservice. Because it's a different identity. And I don't want to talk about like machines like they're sentient. Like but
Not
like
yet.
they go, ooh, 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 ooh. Knock on wood. No, but yeah, like you have to learn these machines because um if you learn it, they're gonna give you what you want out of it. Um, and if you don't, then they're just gonna end up on marketplace or offer up.
Is that, would you say this is the driving force of you acquiring those machines, like learning this new language? And
Yeah, it's one of the driving forces. It's one of the driving forces. A lot of these machines have like have its own sound. Like the P6 to the MK2. It's not the same sound. You know,
Mhm.
like I I don't know if Roland did some kind of trickery with the lo-fi button or the lo-fi knob. If you could tweak certain lo-fi settings on the MK2, you can get the P6 sound. I don't know if they did that, but
Mhm.
but I think the P6 and the MK2 have its own individual sound, and then even compared to the Sonicware Lo-Fi 12, they both do the same sample rates, but they sound different. You know what I'm saying? Um,
Hmm.
and you can get them to smack at a different. It's a different feel. Like that's sort of why I have a hard time like putting together a piece like a tape or an album because there's different things that sound different, you know. And like I'll play them back and forth, and like they knock and they cool, but it's like, oh no, that yeah, this is a different language, or it just feels like a different language to me. But then again, I might be critical because I'm still human.
Would you say they make you like you see a great difference in what type of beats you come up with, or with the...
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. A lot of times like when I'm posting stuff, what you hear is me trying to speak the same language that I've spoken, and like I've learned that from DiBiase. Like
Hmm.
this isn't something he's intrinsically said to me or spoke to me, but like just listening to his music, looking at his workflow and understanding like certain ideas that he has, like I've come with a philosophy that like it says if you could speak the same language on different machines, then like you know where like you know what you're doing, you know what's going on because you understand that machine to the point where you can speak that same say that same slang or say that same like it's if you could do that within this machine and then you could do that within another machine, okay, now you're fluent. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Cool. And when you're fluent, then you can ultimately use that intellectual property to teach other people. Because that's the main goal is to like is to plant seeds and water them. You know what I'm saying? Is to give someone that intellectual property and build on that intellectual property and watch that grow. You know what like
Hmm.
that's what I feel like our ancestors was here for. And like history is always told by the conquerors, but that I feel like that's what we should be doing. We should be sharing information and building on that information so the information can evolve just as much as we are. You know what I'm saying? I still see people using the techniques from the 90s. Like it's like we got machines that could do more than this. Let's make some standards like that we can do on other machines so we can evolve. And then these companies, they don't have a one up on us. And I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
But it's an important. I think you talked about this in a different interview that the community aspect of both, like the koala has a very strong uh, bonding community of people sharing on their Discord as well. They're always sharing ideas and their workarounds over certain things, like making it work on an iPad with bigger setups. And DB, obviously,
Yeah.
same thing. He is very sharing and kind of. I feel like this is intrinsically like part of the community now, that because he is so open about his approach and his techniques, everyone else is. Like
Yeah.
people have this uh, paying back mentality, which I think is very important. This is, you mentioned 90s was very protective. Everybody was like, "Nah, I won't let you, and like you will never see the gear in my room." And now is the opposite. Is like, here is all my gear,
Yeah.
and this is what I do with this.
I'm giving my flowers. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, DB. Appreciate you for doing everything that you do for the community. Not only the community, but me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I like that, and of course you'll have those people that you know that feels like they still need to have that king of the hill mentality. Like, oh, but that's what makes it that you know that's what makes this community like this. Like, we got to be real. Like, this came from hip hop. This is hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Um, and like th- that king of the hill mentality kind of built hip hop also, you know but So I get it. I understand it. I understand it. But like for the most part, um, we work better together in building each other up. You know what I'm saying? Um, and telling each other the truth and being honest with each other. You know, I like that aspect. In the community also. Um, I just feel like we could push further. You know what I'm saying? Like we've I've seen some crazy stuff. I've seen some crazy stuff, but like I'm finding out like AI is doing a lot of the stuff that we're barely understanding, you know, and it's like, hmm, all right, now we have an enemy. No, I'm just kidding.
It is an interesting, like, do you feel like it's an enemy in the creative space with all the
No,
tools?
no, no. That was just me being like hyperbolic and just weird. I'm sorry. Nah, but we got to understand that these things are tools, you know, and
Right.
it's just like it's just like money, you know, when money like I, I don't remember and I can't say what they felt, but I can only imagine that this probably was like something around, you know, what they were feeling when like dollar bills came into play and different things and like be, because it's a change, you know, and we're not gonna build our whole life off of you know, and we can't.
Hmm.
It's an unstable thing. So we can't build our creativity off of just one thing. You know what I'm saying? Like we have to look at the bigger picture and understand that AI is just another paintbrush as opposed to a painting, you know, like
Right.
you but yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, it's all gravy. It's all gravy. It's good, man.
Do you have an example, like a good example of some new techniques that within these communities, like new approaches, new uh common techniques that are used that are like that weren't in the 90s, that were not present?
Yeah. Like putting putting air in front of you like your drums. Even
Hmm.
though like we do have machines that like you have to work that way. I see things that like people doing that and it's a staple and I'm not against it cuz I do it. You know what I'm saying? But it's I feel like it could be a crutch. Like I've seen some things that I've done and I was like, you know what? I don't need to I don't need to put it. I could just move the MIDI. And like, like it's certain things that we have and it's almost like, oh, okay, well then I could just make sure that that's a cool transient because that air has other information in it that I don't want to ring out or want because I can hear that space in between. This is just me.
Hmm. Hmm.
I can hear that space in between. So no. I need to hear the exact transient, the exact time that peak hits the peak. So
Hmm.
let me just start right there, and then let me just move the MIDI note because now everything else talks to it. You know what I'm saying? But that's something like that, or like um uh drum loops. You know what I'm saying? Like we have so much things that could chop a drum or make a drum into something else or um and like I'm not against any workflow. I love every workflow because I've been there. You know what I'm saying? I started on FL Studio. I started on making loops. I started on like using other people's loops. I started studying like other different people, Dilla, Madlib, even R&B songs because they started doing like hip hop techniques and stuff, or they were in hip hop, you know, and they started making R&B songs and different stuff. Um, but yeah, man. Like I just feel like there's there's other techniques and other things that exist, and I'm not saying that there aren't things that aren't being done. I just feel like it could be done a little more. You know.
But yeah, I, one interesting thing you mentioned on one of the DB streams when he was asking you, you were in the flip in this location where he does the those streams. And he asked you like how what did you do to flip that sample? And you said like you resampled it a bazillion time. So kind of laid it down, resample, chop it up again, resample again. This feels to me like a newer thing, where at least this is not the traditional way to lay down tracks.
Right,
This
right. Like I
this
If you playing around with it and you using that as an instrument, you jamming out, resample that. You know what I'm saying? Like if you jamming out on your beat and stuff, resample that. Like turn the Yearnamine on and resample that and see what you know you created it and resample that. You know what I'm saying? Like
I don't know, man. Like I feel like I said, certain information and certain certain machines, they have a certain workflow and how they process certain things. You know what I'm saying? And what I'm doing, it's weird because I'm taken from the old, but what I'm doing is emulating the or what I'm trying to do is emulating the pass down from like a cassette tape to like another family member to another family member to another family member. Because back then, if someone wanted to give you something or they wanted you to have something or a copy of it, they would just re-record it. And it is that's technically resampling. And so
Mhm.
like you would hear that on the radio or something, and then that's technically resampling. And then someone would record the radio, and then that's technically resampling. So like that is like I don't think that that's a conscious thing that like humanity knew what the outcome was going to be. Like people having like $2,000 equipment and trying to recreate that.
Hmm.
um but that's that's one of the ways like yeah, like I want my sound to sound different, but I also want it to sound familiar. So like it's like math. Like if you use certain techniques with certain methods that you use now, then you could possibly make something that people can feel familiar with, but also be like, but this is something different. I haven't heard nothing like this, or I've heard something like this, but I don't know what it is. you know,
Can't
and I,
put my
I like
finger
that.
on it. Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. I like when people can't put their finger on the pads. I can't put my
Hmm.
finger on it. Like it's like, because it challenges them to figure it out. And once they understand it and once they find out, now they understand a bit of life. You get what I'm saying? Like now they understand like a tiny bit of like um going through trials and struggles and different things and understanding that you don't have it, understanding that you don't um possess that information yet, and then knowing that you will get it. Because it's something about that. Like it's something about like the drive that you get when you're trying to learn something and like you're like, I gotta learn my drop shot on my Call of Duty. Like I gotta learn my hatchet throws. Like, I gotta learn how to get my swing. Do I put my hi-hats before the kicks or do I, and then understanding what that is and then playing it out and then like getting it. And it's like, oh, like you understand a bit about life, a certain bit about life, and you understand that like instant gratification is not always gratification or gratifying. Like it's
Hmm.
working through something, it's tearing down those muscles and then regrowing and rebuilding. You know what I'm saying? It's falling and getting up. Like it's
Right.
it's looking at scab and like, oh dang, I did mess up on that set that I did. Let me figure out how I can get better. You know what I'm saying? Or dang, I did play in a beat battle and I didn't win, but let me figure out how I can, dress this wound up and then put the patch on it and then let me see how that scab look later on. You know what I'm saying? It's little things about life that tells us a lot about life. And like that's one of the main driving forces too.
Hmm.
Just and in life, you know.
Yeah, I feel it. Especially this um improvement based, like when you know you're getting better from this. It's
Hmm.
to me it has the same quality, like learning from the peers, as what you said, like losing a battle or in any competitive area, it's just as valuable.
Yeah,
Losing it makes you think harder and work harder and going like drawing ideas from whoever won, like what was it, what, like, okay, let's just appreciate the fact that it didn't hit as well with the jury or whoever the judges. What exactly was there? And then
yeah,
approaching the people and learning from them is, I think, an important, like, makes the competition so much more worth more,
yeah.
basically.
I love that aspect of it. Like I love like falling and like it's like and then getting a call from one of the homies and be like, "Dang, dude, why you didn't play the other song? Why you didn't? Oh, come on!" Like like it's like you got it. You should have won. Like or you should have did. And it's like, I okay, okay. I didn't lose. You know what I'm saying? It's all like it's all like it's all a mind thing, you know? And like
Right.
that's what I mean when they say or your mind can play tricks on you because it's like you might think that like life is just you know, but you got somebody else that, then it's hard for them to get up in the morning, you know? So it's that's the beautiful thing about life and making music too. And making music. Cause like it's a different language. It's a completely different language with 12 notes and it's just repeating and it's just harmonics and different things. You know what I'm saying? Like it's literally the building blocks of sound. Like I love music. Or sound is the building blocks of music. I'm sorry. I'm dyslexic. I apologize.
Yes. Now, another part of this is challenging yourself, and it looks like you have several ways to challenge yourself. Most recent one was like flipping the silliest of an accordion sample, which is like the most unflippable material that you can introduce yourself to.
Well, I mean, I've 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 flipped chicken clucks, you know? Like it don't seem unflippable when you understand it now. Like, like before, like when like I remember when I was making music on Logic, this was like after a stint, I stopped making music. Um, I was recording some claps and like um it was in the room and like I had some homies here and like I had my window open and when I was recording the claps, I could hear other things in between it. And I'm like, hold on. And then like I like it was other things too, like I'm pretty sure you go to a concert or you have a long session of making music in your headphones and stuff, and then you take them off, you get ready to lay down, go to bed, everything off, and you hear this loud like I can't even do it. It's super super high pitch. It's on a different. It's like TV CRT TV frequency,
Hmm.
and it's like let me see. Like so I looked it up. People call it tinnitus, and it kept happening. It kept happening. And I'm trying to like I'm trying to understand it. So it happened again one time, and I just so happened to have a keyboard up, and I tuned it, and it was to an A, and I was like, oh, hold on. And then I jogged my memory when I used to stay with my granddaddy Philip. It's like my grandfather like in Compton, he had a hearing aid, and every time he would put his hearing aid in his ear, he would turn it on. When he turned it on, it was a tone, and then when he put it in his ear, I couldn't hear the tone, but he could hear me. And so it's
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, we don't hear raw sound. We hear the harmonics and the
Mm-hmm.
dissonance, the resonance, and the over harmonics and the under harmonics and all of the different things, and that's what make a ice cream truck sound, or that's what make a snap, or that, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So like when I understood that and figured that out, I was like, oh, it's never it's never just one tone, it's multiple tones. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
like that challenged me to understand, like, yo, like figure this shit out. That tone is that tone. That tone. And then I started going on to like a whole like it was a long time, like years of just like trying to understand, like the same atom that make up your shirt and your skin are the same atoms.
Right.
It's the same thing. Like everything is everything. You know what I'm saying? So like when I understood that, I was like, oh, so if I just record, if I just record like air, I can make a kick. I can make a snare. I can make a hi-hat. I can make a tone that can be a synth. You know, like it fucked my mind up. So I started practicing that. I just started doing that. A lot of my drums is just from thin air. You know, I mean, I did take some
Literally.
yo, literally. Like I've made some, like it was a beat that I made on Twitter. I put on Twitter, and the homie Clopsy, he had put a like it was like a like a bell sound, it was like a doink sound, you know. And I'm like, oh shoot, this can make a good kick. It has good low end. So I made a kick, and then I was like, oh, let me filter that out. I made a snare or like a little, and then I made a hi hat or like a little perk or something. And I made a synth out of it, and I'm like, oh, okay, so yeah, like everything is everything, and like a lot of these sounds that we have or that we sample, they have a lot more information in it than we give it. You know, it's
Mm-hmm.
just it's just sampling on sampling on sampling, and that's pretty much what we do. Like what we are, we are samples of something.
True. We are. We at least we're sampling all the time and
Oh
resampling,
yeah,
and stuff
yeah,
get lost, and then we chop it up and
yeah.
become this.
The CIA knew how our mind sampled when they created MK Ultra. They knew how our mind sampled. For real, for real. I don't mean to get deep or nothing spooky. No, but for real, man.
Yeah.
Do you use drugs or alcohol? Yes.
Basically, you arrived at a point that it doesn't matter to you what to sample because you found ways to make anything out of anything.
Anything out of anything. Anything.
It's very
So like
interesting.
if say for instance you like that sample that I had the other, like the last post that I did, the goofy silly one. Um that one, like if you micro chop it and if you like put a little bit of release on it, you can tune you can tune that to be whatever. Like you can make a one shot out of that like horn stab. You know what I'm saying? And then make a completely different idea around that. You just have to erase what you know about that song that you're sampling.
Oh, that's a great advice. It's-
I know. That I I watched this movie. It's called Blink Twice.
Mhm.
And it's a cool movie. I think it's Zoe Saldana's directorial debut, and like it was a mental fuck. Like it fucked my head up. But it was something in there and it said forgetting is a gift.
I feel like we're forgetting like a lot of stuff.
And it 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 fucked my head up because the more that you don't know, the more it'll be easier to do. But the more that it'll be easier to do, the more you are susceptible to falling. You get what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So it fucked my head up because like I'm a person that likes to know and understand. I like to do that. But like when it comes to like doing, all these questions pop up. Like here comes the inquisition to, oh, am I gonna do it this way or am I gonna do it this way? Am I gonna like tweak it this way or am I gonna tweak it this way? Or am I gonna do this? As opposed to someone who's never come across this information, they're just gonna create and just go. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it just kind of it it just gave me like this mental fuck. So I I just try to forget. I just try to like not remember. Because um if you learn, then you're able to put that information to the side for like for the moment and then understand something that you don't, because when I say everything is everything, that also means that like people people's workflow or other people how they understand information and how they learn could also be similar to the way that you learn. And it's technically also the same thing. You're just receiving energies and receiving vibrations, receiving that information, and then applying that information and putting it to your own workflow or your own language or your own jargon or understanding. Um, so it's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. We as humans, we like to be unique. We like to, oh no, I do it this way and I do it this way. It's all the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Like we make music. We're creating from emotion and creating from like technique and learning, and it's we're all doing the same thing. We're all contributing to this one big painting. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Um, because with that's technically what we are. We are like natural vessels. We are a vessel. And when you become a total vessel to the music, um, it's not yours. This music is not ours. Just like this life is not ours to live. This life is rented. You know, anything that you've rented in your life has never been yours. But when we let go of that possession, that's when we ultimately understand how to like really let go. Like, okay, we're I can forget, I can not remember, and I can go back to that childlike essence and just be like 8-year old self, like understanding why are their feet moving to the drums and how are their arms moving to the hi-hats and moving to the melody and different stuff, you know, like trying to figure out the intricacies of life, you know, go back to that first question. It's like you can't lie, us as humans, when we find out something, that's something. That's that. You know what I'm saying? Even though in elementary school and like middle school and stuff, there's been multiple ways to get to an answer. You
Yeah,
know, we've learned that, but
and it's
we get
actually
confused.
individual how people want to solve certain problems.
Exactly. Exactly. And but when we get older, we feel like there's no other way. There's no other way. No, we got to do it this way because it's
Mhm.
right. It's like, come on, man. Everything is everything.
So this, how do you help yourself get back into that state? Because I guess like you struggle just what you said. It's like even knowing this exact thing, those thoughts and second guessing yourself is always part of the process. It like at some point it's like, did I did I do enough?
Right.
Should I not forget this and that? And maybe it should be cleaner or dirtier. How do
Yeah.
you get yourself out?
So like say for instance I made the beat, all of everything, I tapped into my 8-year old self. I'm coming back out. I'm finishing the beat, right? Okay. So once you have your 8-year old self talking to you like that and you're listening, now you can now you now I don't want to say scold, but now you can guide your 8-year old self. Now you can guide your younger self. Now you can guide that child essence once you have everything on the table. Now you can grab this sequence and okay, no, 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 this sounds like the intro. This sounds like this could be like the drop, or this sounds like this could be like the closing argument, or this sounds like because like um what that's all we do. We state theses and like we support arguments. um uh like even as kids, like they state something like, no, no, I didn't do that, and I didn't do that because I was over there, like like it's just certain things. It's like what are you thinking about, dog? Like you know but then because you're everything is everything, so you're still that child, you're still that first person that heard, like a swing, drum pattern. It's like, oh, okay, that's what it sounds like. And I tap out of that by just listening. Like you just like listen to it, like press pause, go take a walk, look at your phone, look at the bills. Like
Hmm. Another great suggestion.
go outside, hop in your car, remind yourself that you are like you are in control of this. You know what I'm saying? And remind yourself how far you've come. And like that information that you've learned in that span of time that you've been creating music, or you've been creating life, or you've been like living life, whatever, the hip kids say. But yeah, like once you just create and just like that's what I did the other day. I hopped on my iPad and I grabbed my Apple Pencil, and I just just scribbling. And like I was just taking away, once I had everything scribbled, I was just taking away, and then I would add more things. And then like I would just do some paint and different stuff, and it came out pretty cool. I fuck with it. Um
Mhm.
like it's certain activities and certain things that you could do like that, like just making music. Um One tool and one technique that is really underrated, that helped me do that, is the Dakim delay, the delay tech.
Oh, the infinite loop.
Oh my God. Like it helped me understand certain things and go back to certain things. You know, like you can get some crazy, crazy rhythms and crazy patterns like within that. And it's like, oh man, okay, I got it still, like, but it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool because you can tweak the delay and like resample that, and then filter that, and then add that, make that a loop, add that on top of like some drums that you can like emulate. It's yeah, he's an amazing, amazing person for that, for
Uh,
everything that he does, actually.
Seeing him perform a whole show in that manner is actually, it's so philosophical. To me, it's like so interesting how he embraces this very thin space. It's like it's super fragile. With it's gone, and like he turns it down and up, and it cuts out a part of that forever. There is no undo. He just fills it with other stuff and moves from song to song by simply exact like removing and painting over. It's one canvas he fills with all the songs,
Yeah.
but so brave. This is He's so brave with this concept, embracing this. Uh, you don't know what's going to happen, especially in his older sets when he was working on the micro sampler.
Yeah.
And that combination, the trick there, he didn't like, he only heard what he was playing in after one bar. So he didn't even know for sure what exactly he's playing into that. It was
Yeah.
just like, bloop. Okay, let's hear. Oh, okay, I can work with that.
Yeah.
So interesting. That's great you bring this up because yeah, it inspires me every time anybody mentions Dakim.
No, Nah,
because of that.
he's a philosopher. He's definitely
Yeah.
a philosopher. Him, like hearing his music like shot me over another like moon. I was like, whoa. His last tape, like I'm still playing his last tape that he dropped on what is it, Funkin' Wolf? He dropped it on Bandcamp. It's light years ahead of like, I don't know, I'm speechless. Every time I bring that album up, it's like, whoa. Whoa. It's amazing. It's amazing for me. Especially being on the West Coast and stuff. But it's it's funked out. For real, for
And
real.
it's a new technique. Now that I think of it, this is a here's a great example of this like new school technique. This is something that did not exist previously. This like live looping with a delay.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Nah,
a
I'm
crazy
that part.
concept.
That part right there. Like you hit the nail on the head. Because it's been there, and like that information has been there for years, and nobody's like like decades, because delay pedals has been out for a long time.
Yep.
So like for him to use like this, it's like, oh dang. Anything that has delay now, I try it.
Yep.
Anything that has delay now, I try it, man. But yeah, man, it's a beautiful thing though, because that's what happens when you have information. You share it, and then people build on it. So
In terms of coming back to this, like entering the 8-year child brain and then getting out of it, what's your process in terms of finishing a song? Are you more of a person who just goes into a song, finishes it, and you're done, or do you go through phases? Something like, okay, this is the idea, and then I'll add it to it later.
Galaxy, I might as well go right back. That ass that I thought I had once, I guess not. It's just a fantasy. Fuck it, I made it hard. Yes.
yeah, I never come back to it later. I have so much unfinished stuff. I have so much like just stuff that I haven't even like touched, or like I got to get better with that. Like beats that I just make because I just want to get it out. I won't do anything with that's pretty much 90% of like everything that I make. I don't make it for a tape. I just make it to make it. And like if I want to share it, I'll share it on Instagram or Twitter. Um, but like I've been like, my niece hit me up the other day, and she told me, and it made me smile. She was like, "Why, why is that track not on Spotify?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, because I don't get that from like most of my family. They know I make music and stuff, but like they know of me just like on the phone with them on like video chat, just playing guitar, and I'll just be playing guitar, talking to them and stuff. So like when my niece hit me up, it almost brought tears to my eyes, I'm not gonna lie, because it was like what? Like this? He's like, yeah, I want to show this to my friends, but I can't send it to my friends if it's not on Spotify or nothing. And I'm like, oh, I'm fucking up.
That damn enterprise company. Yeah, they made it so convenient, right? This is
Yeah. Yeah, they
like the
did.
kids consume music through that platform,
Oh my God.
and that's it. That's like
Yeah.
you can't tell them like go on Bandcamp and download the album. They're like, nope, not
Nope.
doing this.
Nope. Nope.
I just
Nope.
pushed play, please.
Yes,
I mean,
yes, yes. Push play. I need it now.
yep.
Nah, but I mean, I'm thankful. I'm thankful that like I can make music. I'm able to make music. So when I get the courage or the the will, I guess, to start putting stuff out, it's gonna be out. It's gonna be there. I got some stuff that I got lined up to be out. Um I'm just waiting for next year.
Interesting. Is there like what prevents you from putting it out on SoundCloud and all those platforms?
I just I don't know. It's like almost hearing your voice.
Really
Yeah,
interesting. Oh,
it's
how
like
interesting.
it's like most of my beats I don't go back and listen to. I'll
Fair
hear
enough.
in that session. Um like even sometimes performing is almost cringy for me. Like
Really
yeah,
interesting. This
yeah,
is so
yeah.
interesting.
I don't know, like it's almost like I perform. I like it. I like it was a time where um like where I was like, oh yeah, this is a vulnerable moment. Like, yeah, I'm sharing myself to you and you sharing yourself and just listening and um but I wasn't making much music. I was doing more performances than making music, you know.
Hmm.
And I feel like it's supposed to be a balance and I didn't balance it right. Um so like I kind of shunned away like from performing and it kind of put me in a mode where it was like dance monkey. No, I'm just kidding. Like do yeah, do like and it's like ew. I need to step away for a minute because I love playing my music for people. I know I do. I no, this can't be it. Like I was fighting with myself. Like no, no, I don't want this. So like I had to take a step away because I wasn't really making music. Like I wasn't making new stuff. I was just performing because like I work a day job too. So like um I don't have much time to like make new music.
Hmm.
So when I did get offered a show, I'm like, yes, yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Because it was a part of me that was still doing music, you know. But now it's like, no, no, no. I have I have ideas that I want to put down now. Like I have
Hmm.
ideas that and like I'm not I'm losing them. And like it like a lot of times when I have an idea, I'm stopping. That's why I like koalas so much because like I'll pull over. Like if I'm driving, I got an idea, I'll pull over and I'll lay that idea real quick. There was a
Hmm.
oh man, I don't know if I should say this, but fuck it, we're transparency. No, I'm just kidding. Nah, so it was 1 year for Nam. I had met Marek, the developer of the app, right?
Right.
So um I think I was taking him back to where he was staying at. And so as I'm taking him back to where he was staying at, I'm making a beat like, oh, so this is what I'm like I was fanboying. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, so I'm driving, and I'm making a beat while I'm driving. He's like, put Tvkii, put God, yeah, we gotta keep your eyes on the road. And I don't know, man. Like that's forever like ingrained in my head because like ever since then I stopped making beats while driving. Like ever since then I was like,
Uh,
okay,
the voice
yeah,
of reason.
voice of
Shout
reason.
out
Thank
to
you.
Marek for
Yeah, thank you, thank you.
eventually saving your life.
Yeah, yeah, no, yeah. There you go, there you go. How'd you get in a car crash, man? I was just trying to lay this beat pattern. I can't even imagine that. I can't even imagine that. I'm glad we can laugh about that.
But I can see that because you mentioned humming into. I take it this is a regular thing with you that you just hum ideas into Koala, and then this is the placeholder for the final song that you then lay over it, basically.
Recently, it's just been the voice note thing. Because I
Hmm.
put that into Koala.
Right.
Um, but like the new, I think it's iPhone 15. They have a button on the side, and like you could just like assign that to be whatever. So I assign that to be the voice notes. So anytime I got a voice note or like I want to beatbox something, I just record that and then I'm done. And then I'll come back to it
Right.
later when I have time. Um, I got to get better with like coming back to it though because I have like 10 gigs of voice notes. So it's like albums and albums and different shits, like different ideas, different song ideas, like singing and different stuff. Like, yeah, I just got to get better with that. I'm human. I'm trying to get a grasp on this.
So I take it you probably then work on material instantly, right? So if there is a sample that catches your ear, or if you start a song, all the samples come in at that moment, right? You're not like having a library that you go through to, okay, I'll take uh, this line I sampled from there, or in these instruments. It's all the in the moment.
Now it is.
Mhm.
Before, like I was taking like different stuff. Like I that's sort of why I keep that like I think Flylo had like a challenge to like sample this on like Instagram or something. And then I
Mhm.
sampled it and I put it on Twitter. But like that was like multiple different sources of like there his sample was there, but it was like multiple different sources of other shit.
Mhm.
Um so like I still do it, but like I I kind of feel like it's a little more um I thought it was a little more challenging. I thought it was a little more challenging to like sample everything because now we have stem separation, right?
Right.
Um you can make your own drum kit from the songs that you sample. And so that's what I've been like doing. I've been like like making my own drums and making my own drum kit from the songs that I'm sampling. If I want to add other like joints to it or like other like kicks or snares or other sounds to it, I'll add it. But for the most part, I try to keep it, like only within the song. And I'll chop up the song or stem separate. Like that's one of the things that like I'm talking about. Like that's a technology that's new. And I don't hear or I hear people using it, but I hear people stem separating it and then playing the same loop like all at the same time. You
Which
know?
is like, that's kind of backwards.
But I mean, it's dope because you're figuring it out, But you can chop up all of that stuff, and challenge yourself to come out with your own rhythms, your own cadences, your own, you know. Um, but yeah, yeah, that's what I was telling my homegirl because she was like, man, I can't just do it. I was like, look, don't even look at the sequence. Don't even look at the sequence. Don't even look at when the line is moving and doing all. Just play your groove, play your thing, and then you'll figure it out. She was like, oh, okay, yeah, yeah, and she got it. So yeah, man, shout out to her.
That's that's another an interesting. That's basically what Ableton makes a bit easier. But I've seen Tyrone specifically doing like he just starts the sequencer to have this tape going on, and then he puts in notes, and the one is wherever. He doesn't care that much.
Hmm.
Another guy from Karl Marx is very similar in this. He just starts it wherever.
Hmm.
And the one is with the kick, yes, wherever it is. But
Yeah.
everything else aligns more naturally then because you're not like super stressed about, yes, it's the beginning of the bar. I waited, hold on. It's not,
Yeah.
then in
Yeah.
Ableton, you can just push the bar to the like, this is now the one, this is my loop.
Right.
Um, but the technique is totally applicable in any sequencer, as you said, is Just
Mhm.
like, yeah, it's not going to be on the first step, that's all, but it's gonna be more felt
Yeah, man.
because again, you're just yeah playing.
I call that freaking the tempo. Freaking the tempo. Because like back then they used to have a thing called freaking the needle. I seen that video and they would needle drop like in
Mhm.
like sample chop live. Like, like it 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 blew my mind, you know. But then when I seen Tyrone do it, and he was just I'm like, oh, hold on, what? He was like, hey man, look, I look, this is what I do. Like he'll tell you, explain it. This is what I do. I don't push this onto nobody else, but this is how I get down. Okay, so look, check this out. And they'll tell me, I was like, Tyrone, you crazy, you a mad scientist, dude. He was like, hey man, look, I just do what I do. Nah, I appreciate Tyrone for that too. He's a man, he's a superpower, dude. That's
Mhm.
that's hella it's jazz. It's jazz. This is the evolution of jazz, because it's like, okay, you have a loop, a looper, but you also have these cadences and stuff, and it's like it's creating these syncopated, like off metered kind of drums, and it's like, oh, this is nasty. This is crazy. Yeah, it's freaking the tempo. That's tight.
Crazy, crazy. Yep, yep. Very characteristic Tyrone. Like I can tell by the drum pattern alone that it is a Tyrone track. Like it's
Yeah.
very, very recognizable.
That's also what I like too. People's thumbprint. Like people have a sound. You know what I'm saying? And like that's one of the goals too, is to like show your sound or showcase your sound, or like give us your sound, put your thumbprint on it. Um one thing that I learned that helped me with that is like um learning the rules to break them.
Hmm.
Like you gotta like you had to learn how to crawl before you fail. So you technically know how to fall. you know, but now it's like learning how to walk. So now when you walk, you could walk with a you figure out your stance, your posture, and everything, because you know how to fall, you know. Uh,
Hmm.
But yeah, I think just learning the basics, the rudiments, understanding what like a one bar is, understanding what two bars is. Like I used to think like that stuff wasn't important, but it's important to understand how to break them, you know.
Absolutely.
And eventually when if you're doing your thing and doing your own thing, and if you're not even paying attention, you're gonna figure out and understand what it is. It's inevitable. That's why I like the basics of things, because they inevitably come out like automatically. Like even if you're doing something the wrong way, the basics will hit you, and they'll reach you, you know. Like you could be making, your drums off, like you could make it off, um you still gonna find that it's a one there. You still gonna find that it's a loop, it's a one bar loop. Okay. You still gonna find that, like, you got your statements, you got your kicks, you got your snares, and then you got your supporting arguments, your hi-hats, and your open hi-hats or your perks, and like that all of this stuff is gonna go in the loop. So it's like it's gonna hit you regardless. Um
Hmm.
if you learn it, if you go to it and understand it, then you could ultimately get what's here and here to, here, or here, but yeah, it's all about that life, understanding that you don't know, so you can know.
Kind of in tune with the with saying no to things. as basically uh, rejecting certain ideas. Once you got those rules, you understand, like, well, no, I'm not going to put it on the one.
Yeah.
And this is the first step to get into this space of I am actually now subconsciously doing it a different way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Many times, or at least I catch myself when an attractive idea, somebody like I like what somebody is doing, uh, but I then go like, well, no, I'm not going to do it this way simply because I know this certain thing doesn't work for me, or I don't want to go there, but I like the idea.
Right.
So I want to take this idea somewhere else. And this is where it very naturally and yeah, basically it happens easier because I'm not sweating it. I'm like, gotta find my sound. It's more like those tiny things where it's, well, I think I like the approach, but no, I'm not going to do this like that because it's too similar,
Right.
or I don't want to get that piece of gear, or I don't want to venture into that space. Like this is too much for me.
Right.
Let me see how I can shape this idea into something that I'm able to do and enjoy doing. And then that's like a tiny little brick in this sound thing.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. And in that building of that idea, you're also building your identity. You know, like it's been so many times where like I've deleted beats because it sounded like somebody else.
Ah,
No, no, I'm not gonna. No, no, I don't want to. No, no, I don't. Or I won't even go back to it because it sounded like somebody else, or it sounded like an idea from someone else. Um, but like, I what we have to remember is that we all say the same words every day, and they all sound different from everybody. You know, so like you might say, and then I might say, you know, and then somebody else might say, you know, and it's all coming from the same idea. You know what I'm saying? Or
same
this,
alphabet, basically.
yeah, same alphabet, same, you know, um, and uh that's what we do when we chop up like drum loops too. Like I figured that out. Like when we chop up drum loops, we're taking those ideas and making it our own. But we're also breaking the rules of that idea. You know, like okay, yeah, that's blasphemous to take a Michael Jackson drum loop and chop it up like that. Oh no, that's mid. Like it's like no, that's the person's identity. That's what they want to do. They did it. It sound dope. You know, like some people be crazy. But yeah,
Mm.
you're right. You're right, man.
There is one example is this drums first or sample first. Very like it's almost like mm, a preference. Like people fall into one of those two camps of some start with drums pretty much always, and others chop up the sample first and lay down the idea. And I feel like I like going between those spaces. Like I I'm not that um, religious about this because at least to me the outcome is very different. And
Hmm.
I mean it's a common uh, also understanding that like if you start with you take the same samples, same drums, you start with the drums first, you will get a different song adding the sample later
Hmm.
versus laying down a loop with the sample and then working the drums into that loop.
Yeah,
It's very
yeah.
interesting how the dictating element is then different, right?
Oh yeah, no, I I rarely start with the sample. So, what I always start with the drums,
Hmm.
but at times, like even recently, I've been chopping the sample before
Hmm.
just to get an idea of what the drums is. Um, but the times that I have started with a sample, it sounds like a different person.
Hmm.
Like it sounds like another identity. Like it sounds like another piece of, you know. So yeah, no, I could see that being like another iteration or another like, say for instance you create something else, someone else, like another identity, or even if you wanted to, keep that like alias or something. But I don't know, it is kind of crazy that dictates who that person will be.
This is why I actually like all those boxes as well, because they're those boxes personalities, as you put it, and the workflow, mm, kind of givens. They push a certain workflow, and therefore working on the different machines kind of makes you said it too, like it sounds different. The beats you do with the different machines, they not always sound coherent enough to be, for example, on one project, simply because the output is different sonic wise. It's kind of different. So
Right.
I embrace that, because sometimes if I get stuck with an idea, like I like where it's going, but I can't, like, happens in Koala sometimes, that I just don't know. I want to add something, but I'm not able to. Like, and then fuck around with like, let's try the bass line, and it doesn't work. I take it out, I tape it out on an OP, because just playing the bass line in with this tiny keyboard
Hmm.
switches the brain in a different space, and it flows all of a sudden. It's like I broke this barrier. I was so stuck, and now I just transfer the idea in a different space to to use the this other language to
Hmm.
help me
Hmm. Hmm.
evolve the idea. So that's, I don't know. Yeah, probably similar, at least from what I heard so far. That you kind
No,
of.
you're right. You're cracking the code. No, for real, because using different machines kind of puts you in a different, like a different mode, because you're learning this at a different time and a different period of your life. Like you probably learned Ableton differently the way you learned the OPZ, you know. And at that time you were going through certain things, and like you had a different perspective on life,
Mhm.
that may have differed from when you learned Ableton. So like all of those things play a part in like who's creating, you know. And that's the beauty. That's the beauty of it. Like once you're understanding that, like this is me, but this is a different essence, because I am learning under these conditions, So
Basically,
like you,
why? Mhm. Go ahead.
no, no, your why changes. Yeah, you're like, why am I doing this? Why, why am I
Hmm.
learning this machine? You know, or why am I making music right now?
True.
So it it I don't know. I think that's just something that like I don't know, we learn and we don't highlight, but it's something that like once you understand it, it's like, oh, okay. You could freely do it. Like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm just this. Don't be so critical. I'm critical of myself, so yeah, let go.
Do you have this sentimental attachment to some of the machines? Like, do you have like one machine that you're super attached to, like the valuable piece in the studio?
I think every single one of them. Like I'm looking at all of them. Like I look at the MK2. Uh, that was my first 404. I didn't have. I'm lying.
Yeah.
I'm lying.
Mhm.
Yeah, I had a 404. No, I had a. Yeah, that's my first 404, but I had an SP 505, and I
Mhm.
sold because I didn't know what I had. But I look at my 404. It's my first 404. Um, my 202. I got it for my birthday. Um, and that I'm forever keeping this because um of how it happened. Uh, I don't I don't know if they want me to say this, but so what? um, so I had seen I'm an offer up monster, so I seen this on offer up. It was I think it was for 200. I think it was for 200. So my first instinct was I sent it to DB and I asked him, I was like, bro, do you know this person that's selling it? Because the people that have 202s are rare. And the people that do have 202s, they post them and different things like that. Um So I asked him, I was like, "Do you know?" He's like, "Oh yeah, that's the homie." I'm like, "Oh shit!" It's something like, okay. So I was like, "Oh, so it's legit. I'm not gonna get robbed, or I'm not gonna, like this is my.
Right,
I'm
right.
just being sure. I'm being sure." So I was like, "Yeah, I'm about to go pick it up right now," and He's like, oh, okay, okay, for sure, for sure. I hit him up, and so he already knows that. I'm like, no, 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 you don't. I just wanted to be sure that I'm going to the right place. I'm not going to like, no fugazi type stuff. He was like, you good, kid? Like, you good, kid? So, uh, I get there, and uh, him and his partner, they sent the money to buy it for me. It was my birthday, so it's like. What? Like, oh no, dog. So this is a sentimental,
Ah, that's so
uh,
cool.
uh, for me. The MC 101 is sentimental for me too. Because it, I got this, from DB
Yeah, bro.
because I wanted to learn this machine. Um, the PO is sentimental for me because, um, it it challenged me. Like that was one of the most challenging ones that I had because I didn't want to make I didn't want to make that, like I
Mhm.
wanted to make I wanted to make that, but
Mhm.
it wasn't doing that when I was first. So that was something that I had to overcome. Um and yeah, so the Micro Freak, that was my first synthesizer. The P6, this is like I don't know, the P6 and the S1, I'm still living. I'm still living. I haven't lived long enough to have like some sort of sentimental value. So these two is probably the least, but I just love these devices, the S1 and the P6. And the Lo-Fi 12 and the the Texture Lab, these are also kind of like the least sentimental value, but um yeah, I've had instances, and I've had like um certain challenges and certain turmoils with all of these machines. So it's like oh okay, like I don't want to give this up. Like I put time, effort, energy into all of these things. You know, uh, yeah, and I think that's about it.
Is it what's the ratio of stuff that you do in Koala versus studio environment, let's say, call it that?
Uh, I say I do mainly like koala is my main, you know, that's my main
Weapon of
go.
choice.
Yeah, because like I'm not a lot at home. Recently, I've been at home because I kind of went through something, but I'm not at home usually, so I'm usually using my phone to like cook up. But since I got the OPZ, I've been taking a Z with me, and I've been like cooking up like just in a car, you know, different places and stuff. Um, but yeah, yeah, I say it's mainly Koala, like my iPhone.
So you're also more
Hmm.
outside gang,
Yeah,
doing
yeah. I just
stuff on the go.
Yeah, man. I just don't be posting. Like I gotta get into my video editing bag soon. Cause I haven't been posting like a lot of the stuff that I've been doing. I've just been learning a lot of stuff, you know, just
Hmm.
learning how to like, you know, certain shots and researching different like photographers and videographers and different stuff. And just like doing my research and stuff. Cause I mean I could just post up with my phone and just do that and just show I'm outside, you know. But it's like I don't know, it kind of takes away from my artistry because like I don't only create in music, you know. Like I draw, you know, I build. No, I'm
What do
laughing
you?
because I made like a noise box and it was kind of weird, but it had to do with music. No, but like I like creating in different mediums and stuff, you know.
Mhm.
But yeah, man, I don't know. I'll get to it. I'll get to it. The thing I wanted to like get into is the sync licensing. That's something that interests me too. I just have to do a little more research on it. I don't
That
know much about it.
and that I wanted to ask about because that sounds like a major endeavor. You mentioned film scoring. I guess this is the same lane as sync licensing, isn't it? Or is it a different lane
It
you're?
would I wouldn't say it's the same, but it's like almost similar. You know, like I I've been wanting to score films for like since I was like a kid though. Um Ever since I've been watching movies and different stuff and like seeing that they made the sound for like footsteps and different stuff like or being a Foley artist or something like that. Like that stuff is like it's wicked to me because you're creating a world for people to be immersed in, you know, and like that's sort of what we do with our minute and 30 beats. You know, we want to create an immersion of like of a world that we were in at that time. um Other kinds of just flipping stuff too, and that's fine. But like yeah, like it's I think that's very very like alchemical. You know, it's like that's like magic almost, you know. I'm and I don't mean alchemical as in like the science term. I just made that up. It's
Magic. Magic is
magic. Magic.
magic science.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. For real, for real. But yeah, man, it's fun. That's all it is. It's just fun.
But it is on the bucket list? Is it like your musical bucket list to get there?
Uh, it is, man. But like, I'm so in love with making music or the music making process that like I gotta wear other hats, in order to get there, and I I haven't got enough cloth for to make those hats,
Mhm.
yet, so um yes, that is on the bucket list though. That's something that I want to do. I want to, Foley something or or score something, or even like, I don't know. Yeah, like, yeah. Like I just want to create, man. I just want to create. And those are just ideas of stuff that I just want to touch.
On the opposite end of this, like, so that is future stuff. Today's stuff, do you have an example of some technique, something you overuse currently?
I say the stem splitter. Yeah, I say the stem splitter. Cause like
Mhm.
you could beatbox in your phone and then like stem extract that. Like it's wicked, or like you can you could capture all kind of different essence like sounds and different stuff like that. But I don't know if I overuse a lot of stuff. uh um I don't know. I think more so chop I say chopping, like certain ways that I chop. But even then, like it changes. It changes like every beat, you know?
Mhm.
It's just different. It's just different. Let me see if I can. So you can just resample that, right? I've shown this a couple times, and then just what you're gonna do is you're gonna stretch it. It makes it one bar, so you're gonna take it and turn it to one beat. So you could use that as, or you could take this and then bounce it, right? And then stretch
Mhm.
this
Mhm.
back out to one bar. Right? So now you got like certain, and then bounce this, hold on. Bounce that. Now you got kicks, and then you have like atmospheric snares and shit. Yeah. And then if you put this under, so if I do the hold on. I want to get that on the one. So you're like layering different sounds and different stuff, but you created that from the first drum loop, you know. Um, and it's just certain things that like that I do. But I wouldn't say I overuse it. No, I'm just saying.
You're just using it all the time.
Yeah, I'm just using it all the time. It's just
That's another thing that stuck with me that you mentioned. That this, for one, you have the community, but it's obviously pushing, driving the collaboration. And I think you said that you're just exchanging basically koala songs with people, sending them back and forth. How does it
yeah.
work?
So you can send. you can send koala projects to
Hmm.
to one like I if I have like a like I can send that koala project to you and like through
Hmm.
Zoom. And they would open it up, add more sounds or tweak the sounds that's there,
Hmm.
create a sequence and send it back. Um yeah, I mean, Koala makes it real easy for that. It makes it
That's
real easy to like just like collaborate and get down. Uh, and alternatively, you can send it to somebody in the form of like just like loops and stuff, and they could load it up on their Ableton and then send it back to you. But uh, yeah, it's 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 pretty fun, but it's nothing like sitting like passing the phone though, because I had I worked with one of I had a job with Maddie J and the homie Press Morris, and like for lunch we was just passing around the phone. We was just laying some jump patterns and stuff. We was passing around the phone and stuff. Walking back to the job site, just making beats and stuff, and like it's just like stuff like that is like, yeah, like I like I'm doing all right. I feel good about myself, because that's I don't know, man. Like it's moments like that that like I want to like look back on and be like, oh shit, like Matty J did lay down this bass line, or Press did lay down this drum pattern, or the homie Les did lay down these chords, and it's like it'll bring you back to that space. It'll bring you
hmm
back to time. It'll bring you back to then. Um, and it's a conversation with different people and different like jargons and different slang and different stuff like how they lay the drum pattern is different. So when it all comes together, it's almost like it's like a symphony. It is a symphony.
that's very true. I can also see that that's actually what you just said with a memory trigger that you keep from in-person interaction, even if
Hmm.
you're just passing the same phone around or sending the file back and forth. It's very, very different. That's very true. That's why I think online collabs are actually more difficult in terms of that value, this again sentimental value that you just take for granted when people are around.
When you're at home in your own like space, um, those ideas they um they come like easy, and they come like it's like a flow of ideas, and it's easy to like take that and like make it your own, right? But when you're collaborating, um you, you you're just you're adding certain things. This is not like your own, this is ours. So it's like when you're in a space with people, and when you see people and you're looking at them in their face, it's like the ideas come differently, because the thing that I've seen with me is when I'm here, it's more of an experimentation. Like I'm looking to see what works almost sometimes. Um, but when I'm in a space where I'm there and in front of the people, um, I can I have to tap into what I do know. There's no time for like experimentation. I have to tap into what I do know, and this is all the stuff that I've been experimenting and all the stuff that I've been learning. This is the time for me to like use it and utilize it, so I can like bring my voice into this conversation, as opposed to like I don't know, like just experimenting on the spot, and like it's like, oh yeah, this is this is my session now. I like the conversation, and one of my good friends, his name is Rod. He goes by Pap Notes. Um, he he said that like if like keep it moving, like just keep that flow going. You don't want to stop at that experimentation, because when you stop at that experimentation, that's when that idea gets like gone. It's left. If you don't have nothing like to lay down, or if you have nothing to say, he didn't say this. This is me, but if you don't have nothing to lay down or nothing to say, let somebody else get on, and maybe they got they got an idea that they want to lay down, because it's just juices and stuff flowing. It's stuff flowing, and like that'll create an efficient collaboration. Um just just let it flow. All the stuff you learned, let it flow. All the stuff that you've been experimenting, let it flow. Use it. Now's the time to use it, because this is your voice and this is your identity. This is your imprint. You don't want to spend like 40 minutes experimenting, while other people, want to lay down some stuff, or because it just takes away from the flow of it. This is water. You don't want to block it to see where it can go. You want to keep the flow of the river going.
It's very interesting. I don't have that many people I can work in person where I live, but one homie
Mhm.
is exactly that. It's magic because it happens like we instantly get into this flow state and we just start churning shit out and we don't stop. He would play stuff in. This is also the only time that I actually connect all the different machines together because normally it's just either the iPad or the MPC Live or those VOPs is probably the most combined space, but it's still just like this setup, this setup, this setup.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
he comes around, we connect all those things because what happens then is he would play and tweak the sound and play shit in. And then I would tweak the effects while recording him in. We record the stems like just pure audio, and then you modulate oh, I think this the tape delay. This would be awesome, and then
Yeah.
you modulate the feedback so it
Yeah.
starts to resonate and then get it back. And this is so enjoyable to me. Like this is so much fun because you're just creating the whole time. At some point when you have like 20 layers, it's just okay, I think we're done. We'll arrange later. I'll arrange next day because let's do another one. And
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
you don't leave this creative space.
Yeah.
This is pure like this I enjoy a lot and I it never happens this way in an online environment where like this sending stuff over. Great stuff comes out of it,
Right.
but it's not this uh this level of you don't get the ideas um, to that level even simply
Right.
because two minds in the same space synced working on like bouncing those ideas back and forth. It's just pure magic.
No, it is. It is. And like, to add on to like the identity conversation we were having, um and like using different machines, using different workflows too, kind of creates that. Like I'm noticing right now, because if you're in a room, like you said, we're in a room and we're creating, like it's a different workflow, and it's a different flow, it's a different creation, it's a different identity, a different person, comes to like the pads or the keys, or the knobs, you mentioned that, like you were tweaking the effects and stuff, and like that's what me and my homies do. We'll be playing some stuff, and like we'll be tweaking certain things, and getting some crazy sounds and stuff. And like I like it. It was a session we had. It was like 7 people was like on a track, and everybody contributed to something. Shout out to Matty J for like hosting this, but like he was the main main computer and everybody else's, like we were just adding different stuff. So he had Ableton up, and like we had a mixer and everything. So everybody went inside of a mixer, and when somebody had something, he would just hit like record, and then we would record that, and then when somebody else had something, we would just record that, and then we would just keep going. But everybody had their own machines and their own workflow connected to one channel. So it's like,
Hmm.
okay, yeah, everything was flowing. It was just flowing, and like that's one of my favorite tracks, like that I've ever even heard, let alone be a part of. It's so beautiful. I wish I could play it. I wish I could play it. That it was just magic. It was just magic because not like every single different sound came from someone else. Like the bass came from someone, the lead came from someone, the like the VCV like kind of thing came from someone. Like it it I don't know, like that's one of my favorite tracks to even listen to be reminded about, to be, like it's amazing because there was so many people, they were doing their part. They were doing like simple, and it was just simple lines. It was simple lines. Everybody just came together, and it's like, oh wow, this is amazing. This was amazing.
Yeah.
Speaking of, I might have to get one of them jams again.
On that note, if you want to shout out somebody or leave a word of wisdom to the future generations of
Oh man.
producers.
Yeah, yeah. Life is short, live it long, and don't be as scared. No, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to don't be afraid to be afraid. Yeah. Fear fear is along the same line as love. Yeah.
Guess it's time to say, baby, baby, how you make me feel when you come to mind. I can't keep my cool.
Again, sometimes, right, things that are obvious to you because you use them all the time are just like, why didn't I think of that? How didn't I think? I know the tools. I know Koala pretty well, I would even say, but then it's like, oh,
Yeah, it's
and
it's it's using the tools in the machine as your paintbrush, and like you can, hell, like the cyclic mode on Koala is crazy. You can get
right.
um the beat mode on Koala is pretty crazy. Like you could put a 2 bar loop and like you could stretch it to a 4 bar loop and get like these chops like ba 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 ba. Like it's wicked. It's wicked, man. It's wicked. And then the MIDI out function that they just introduced. Yeah, all the machines can talk to Koala now. I cannot wait till I start seeing people control NPCs or like a
With
people
Koala.
with
This
Koala.
would be such a diss. This is people at Takai will get fired. It's like, look, it should be the other way around.
I cannot wait. I because it's almost like now that we have these capabilities, now that like something as advanced as your iPad or like Koala, because your iPad could have done it already. Um, Koala can send and sequence your MIDI, maybe like all the machines that have MIDI. Like MIDI is
Yep.
is 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 old, is years and years. So many machines have MIDI. Like now you could do some stuff with it. Like I mean,
And
well,
that's
before you could, because there was other apps that you could do, but sequencing, and because I know Drumbo was one of them. Drumbo was that's a crazy. I'm still trying to learn that app, man. Still trying to learn that app. It's just the time. But yeah, now it's just effortless, especially with how like efficient and like bare bones Koala is, you know.
Exactly that. I think it's the shortcut to actually using MIDI to sequence other other apps, because there are great sequencers and MIDI tools, but it's tedious because
Yeah.
it's like, well, okay, and yeah, this is doesn't yeah, it
It doesn't,
doesn't work as seamless as Koala. Koala is like press record
and
and
you're
you're
done.
done.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And that's
Yeah, man. I love Koala.
yeah.
I'm a marsupial.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you. Have a great day, and I'll see you. I'll see you on Discord. I'll see you around.